All right, folks, and here it is. We are wrapping up the big bunk houses. This is the 2021 East to West Silver Lake 31K3S. Now, folks, if you're looking for something, again, is big. We saw the Salem, and let's say I like the Salem, but I want something a little bit different. I want something maybe that's a little bit different color scheme, maybe a little bit different feature set. Well, that's what we have here, and the great thing about it is it's still at an excellent price point. I mean, this one is starting at I believe it's under $35,000. So, you have an excellent price point on this one. Good layout too. Let's start off right over here. Let's take a look at the kitchen. Upgraded countertops on here, folks, so you can see that. Beautiful countertops. Because they are upgraded, it lets you undermount that stainless steel bowl, very modern cut to it, kind of that high-rise, stainless faucet on here as well. And this is something that I like. You have a very long window. This is something that Silver Lake changed to about a year ago, and I think it's a great addition, right? Because it really gives you, a view through that picture window so you can see your campsite, see what's going on out there. Plus, it just lets a ton of natural light in here and makes this really bright and open, especially with, again, a little bit lighter colors. Now, they do use darker wood, and that's one of those things. We've done polls, we've asked a lot of people, and, between the lighter wood and darker wood, it's a good split. And so, this is all about what you want. And so if you're someone that likes a little bit darker wood, maybe the Silver Lake will speak to you a little bit more than what we saw in the Salem, or vice versa, right? And that's great. That's okay. That's one of the great things about being, the biggest RV dealer in the U.S., folks, is that we have so much inventory. We have anything, doesn't matter what your lifestyle, what your budget is, how many people you have in your family, what your preferences are, we will be able to find an RV for you, especially with over 80,000 factory fresh RVs coming straight from the manufacturer. And folks, all you have to do is text that word fresh to 46642. Let's talk a little bit about storage here in the kitchen, because I think that's one of the things that the Silver Lake actually does pretty well, especially for this layout. You'll see, of course, you have your standard storage right up top here, but another thing I really like is that you have a bank of drawers. I mean, take a look at that, right? You have a bank of 3 drawers, so you have a spot for not just your flatware and some of your utensils, but now you also have that third drawer, so you have a spot for hand towels for the sink, for hot pads, some of those other items. So we saw that Salem had too. If, having that third drawer is a big deal to you, maybe this floor plan's speaking to you a little bit more. Who knows? You'll also see there, you probably have enough space for a smaller trash can. Now, it definitely can't be anything huge because, it is a triangle. But, if you have like a little, maybe small round one or something like that, or maybe there's a triangle-shaped trash can out there. I don't know. I haven't done the research on it. But, you might be able to fit a small one in there. 3-burner cooktop right here. Of course, has an oven underneath if you want to do a little bit of baking. Hood up top and a microwave. Now, I say, of course, it has an oven, but I shouldn't say that because, folks, just so you know, there are some manufacturers out there that don't have ovens. It's just storage in its place because, not everyone uses an oven. Again, right? It's specifically tailored to you. Now, some people will just use the oven as storage anyway, but, if you don't use the oven, having it without an oven and having a bigger storage spot will probably be more advantageous to you. But just bear in mind that, the next person who buys it, if you ever go to resell it when you upgrade, they may want an oven, and so that may hurt the resale value, right? So there's some things you need to think about there, and again, we'll help you walk through all of that. Moving a little bit further, you get into the fridge-freezer combo. Now, this one does run off both propane and electric, and the great advantage of that, kind of like we talked about this whole segment, is, having that propane, folks, lets you be able to use that refrigerator if you're somewhere you don't have full hookups. If you don't have shore power, if you don't have that inverter generator, you can use that. Taking a look at the slide out. Big windows on here letting in a ton of natural light. I mean, look at the size of this window. I mean, we're from the base of the sofa all the way up to the top there. I mean, just lets in so much natural light. Picture windows on the side here as well. You will see this jackknife style sofa folds up and drops down. The big advantage of the jackknife, folks, is all that storage you get underneath. So if you have larger items, like I know some people like to take like guitars or ukuleles, things like that, camping with them, you have a good spot for it there. It's also a great spot for additional bedding. And then the dinette. Something else I really like about the East to West is the size of the dinettes. And that's something, again, a lot of people don't realize. You see a dinette and you think they're all the same size, right? A standard dinette's one size, a U-shaped dinette's another, but it couldn't be further from the truth. RV manufacturers a lot of times will make dinette sizes very specific to the floor plan. In this one right here, I mean, take a look. I can sit here, still have great space for my shoulders, for my elbows, everything else, and look at all this room I have. I mean, it could be myself, my wife, and probably our 5-year-old still sitting all on just one side. We'd be a little close, but if we're playing a game, we're playing Clue Junior, this right here is the spot where we can do it, and we can have plenty of people sit around here. It also, when it drops down, makes a bigger bed, right? And that can be important too. It gives you more width, so that if you're a tall person, you need to curl up, or you plan on putting 2 adults on here, you can do that with a larger dinette. And some people, again, might write this off saying, oh, I want a U-dinette. And I understand, right? Because U-dinettes do serve their purpose. But if you're thinking you want a U-shaped dinette because you can sit more people at it, folks, I'm here to tell you that's generally not the case. U-shaped dinette, while they're wonderful because they do drop down and make large beds, that's the big advantage to it, by the way, is it makes a bigger bed than most standard dinettes. It doesn't mean you can fit any more people at it. You can usually still only fit 3 to 4 people at most U-shaped dinettes. Like anything else, there are exceptions. There are some that are very large where, yeah, you can sit, 5, 6 people at. But as we just saw, the same thing applies to a standard dinette as well. Let's take a look at the bathroom. Coming on in here, take a seat on the toilet. I always like to sit here just to kind of test it out, right? Especially when I see that the countertop isn't cut in. I'm like, uh-oh, am I going to be crushed? Am I going to be, squeezed in? But as you can see, folks, I actually have plenty of space. This is, plenty comfortable for both my legs as well as my shoulders. I have a porcelain bowl in here, going to stay nice and clean. You have a little bit of storage underneath on both sides, especially over here. So if you want to, throw some reading material in there, if you have toilet paper, black tank chemical, that's all a great spot for it. You'll also see countertop with electrical outlet, and that's one of those things. I personally like having some countertop space in my bathroom. I know, for some people it may not be a big deal, but, I have an electric toothbrush. I use an electric razor. I take like a beard trimmer. Like I bring all these things with me. I need a spot to be able to charge them, and I don't want to. I don't know about you folks, but I'm telling you right now, my wife would freak out if I'm charging my beard trimmer on the kitchen countertop. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just my wife, but I have a feeling that's not the case. I have a feeling a lot of people would be pretty grossed out. So something like that, I like having the countertop space here in the bathroom. Mirrored medicine cabinet right there, so you're able to obviously store whatever you need to, plus check yourself out, make sure the hair is looking decent. Right up top, a couple things here. One is the vent fan. Another thing I want to point out is that this is actually, that light is motion sensor. So it has 3 settings. You can just keep it on, you can turn it off, or you can turn on the motion sensor settings. So that way, as soon as you walk in, that turns on, which can be super handy at night. So you're not trying to find a light switch if you have to wake up in the middle of the night and use the bathroom. When I step into the tub, which by the way, I like having a tub in a bunk model. So if you have kids, you can still give them a bath. That's a big deal if you got little ones. But as far as height, folks, I mean, 6 foot tall. You can see right here, even without that skylight, I have plenty of room here. I could be 6'2", probably still stand up in here. With that skylight, I can be 6'3", 6'4", still be able to stand up in there without having to bend down. Let's take a walk back here. Real quick, as I open this up, you will see some additional storage. There's a good spot right there for some of your folded clothes, or again, if you want to use it as a linen closet, you can do that. And then we come back into the palace, I mean the bunk room. And the reason I say that is because you have dual opposing slides back here, folks. If you want something, we talk about big bunk houses. This right here is exactly that. This is a big bunk house. You have a ton of room. You have, not only do you have 4 beds, all of them being 300-pound weight capacity, which is phenomenal, you will also see that you have all this space right here on the floor. So the kids have a play area. My youngers, my littles, they like to play on the floor a lot. And this gives them the ability to do that. So you can have, all your trucks and toys and everything else right here. I can, bring a dollhouse, set a dollhouse up. You have all that space back here, which is phenomenal. And along the back wall, you will see you still have plenty of storage. You have wardrobe. Let me show you this. You have wardrobes on both sides, folks. Tons of storage in here. A spot for a TV right there in the center. Drawers on both sides. Net storage down below. More up top. I'm telling you, there is a ton of storage, a ton of sleeping space. You have your second AC back here, so you know that the kids are going to stay nice and cool. Even if it's a hot day, they'll be comfortable. You have USB ports, electric outlets. This is just an absolutely phenomenal bunk room. And again, especially at that price point, folks. If you're looking for something that you want some high-end amenities, but you don't want to break the bank, the Silver Lake right here is a great option. If If you want a TV, you know, you have a spot for it. If you don't want it, of course, you don't have to put anything there. You can hang a picture here if you want, right? But if you want TV, you have the hookups, storage up top, fireplace down below, which I absolutely love. Not only because it looks great, but again, because that is a space heater, multimedia center with an HDMI port. And if we take a look in the bedroom here, let me switch you places, Kev. Go ahead and go on in there. Show everyone the bedrooms. One of the big things, again, I love about Silver Lakes is right there, and that is the king bed, folks. You have a king-size bed in an entry-level travel trailer price. I mean, all the amenities you get in here are absolutely phenomenal. You have plenty of storage in there. As we make our way outside, you'll see the upgraded steps. You're looking at the More Ride step above step system right there. Cool thing about this is they're very solid, and of course you can just flip them up and store them right inside. But you know, again, at over 200 pounds, I can hop up and down here. You'll see that, you know, the steps don't flex, folks. Bigger grab handle makes it easy to walk inside and out of the RV. I have a power awning with an LED light strip on there, so that way it lights everything up at night. Couple speakers, you know, if you want to listen to music, you can do that. Big pass-through storage. Take a look at how big this opening is. If you have some wider items, like some of those bigger chairs, you can sneak them right in there. Solar prep. You want solar? All you have to do is buy the portable panels, plug it in right there, and it will trickle charge your battery. The front end, take a look at this front end real quick. You'll see it's not the rolled aluminum, it's smooth, which not only looks nicer, but also it's easier to clean. You have a fully enclosed, insulated, and heated underbelly. That's a big deal too, right? And you know, the great thing about that is if it is a little bit cooler out, you don't have to worry about, you know, your things freezing up on you quite as easily because it has that forced air down below. Making our way to the very back, this is something else that I just couldn't pass up on. Again, folks, at the price point you're looking at, not only do you have an outside fridge, but it comes with an outside griddle. You have an electrical outlet if you need to plug anything else in here. I'm telling you, I love having an outside kitchen. Propane quick connect right down underneath. Folks, there are so many different big bunkhouses we have, not only on our lots, but also coming straight from the factory. All you have to do is just text that word FRESH to 46642. That will get you in touch with one of our specialists and give you access to over 100,000 pieces of inventory on the lot and coming in fresh just for you.